Guidance.
Back against the wall, put on all of this just for my sake. I ran it up, I'm going back and forth. I had to go dumb for a check. Call on my guy, anti-hero on the beat. Got curb, got it going dumb on the streets. One false move, put the boy on the tee. I started hopping in the cast, no, I never was sweet.
You know what? I have patience now.
You don't?
Yes, I do, because I'm celibate. See, I did that, and I'm just like, oh,
Okay.
Okay.
you know. But you know, to answer your question that you're asking off air, yeah, man, I've been more focused. You know, you know, I don't know to the listeners. You know, I've been practicing celibacy. Yep. Toxic King is detoxing a little bit.
Round of applause, round of applause.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I've showed the bad, but now it's time to show the good. You know, and I feel like, you know, going through like celibacy, and I've been doing it for some time now. It's different. It's definitely different. You know, you get the urges in the beginning, like a crack fiend, like you know.
Sorry, itching.
Yo, I'm itching. Like I'm like, you know, like if I'm walking through the mall, like it don't even gotta be someone attractive, just some mom with I'll help with the door, like any help.
Go to Publix.
You know, I'll do anything I can. Like I'll like, you know, when like hey, can you fill out the survey? I'll be like right now. I'll do it. Like I'll do anything for any type of contact. But you know,
Any attention,
you know,
bro.
any attention, like whatever. But you know, but with time, you kind of get off that, and you kind of just like you find like a rhythm. You know, I found like, you know, all right, you don't gotta work out to like look good for females. You just look good for like yourself.
Yeah.
Finding yourself.
You find yourself.
Have you been able to stay focused now? Like,
Yeah, no, I definitely just stay focused. Like I feel like I lock in at work, you know, I lock in with my workouts. I found like a routine. I actually have like a lot more time on my hands.
Yeah.
You know, like where I can kind of do things like for the podcast or like go to events and like actually just time to just chill and watch like some regular TV, catch up on my TV shows and find like but then also with that you kind of explore yourself. Like what do you like?
Current
When-
interests.
Yeah.
That's outside of like a female's attention.
For sure. Yo, and honestly though, when you're constantly like catering to women in a certain type, which is not wrong,
It's not wrong.
but when you're constantly doing that, you kind of lose your own identity of like, well, what do you like to eat for dinner?
yeah.
Right? Because you're constantly asking her and she goes, anything. And then you say, well, this. She's like, no. But like now it's, well, Nick, do you want pizza? I want pizza. Do you want to watch this TV show? We can watch this TV show. And you can, and you want to go to sleep now? It's time to go to sleep now. And you can decide to do all that and feel fine, and you actually feel like genuine happiness.
No, you know what you're going through right now?
What's up?
You're going through this clinical term called semen retention.
Semen retention.
Semen
jeez.
There's
What is this?
the baby batter. Retaining the baby batter.
Retaining the
This
baby.
guy is insane. That's not clinically right. The clinical term is semen retention. So what semen retention is it's obviously the willingness to not ejaculate, which is any type of form, whether it's masturbation by yourself, whether it's with somebody else, sexually active, you're not. You're just cold stone, cold Steve Austin type shit.
Which I didn't know that. When I first decided to go celibate, I was like, all right, well, you know, I still get my thing. You know what I mean? But then
masturbate.
Will showed up right when I was about to start. He said, hey, yo.
No, I didn't.
He said, put that thing away. He said, put it away.
I'm not pulling up to you and you doing that. I'm not doing that.
You know, and you know, no, I'm kidding. I was on FaceTime with him. I said, is this okay? And he said, no. He said, not at all.
Yo, that never happened.
So like, yeah, any form. So anyone that doesn't know what celibacy is or semen retention, it's no forms of anything.
Of anything, you have to like hold like the urge. You have to hold it. You gotta take it for what it is. You gotta grasp it like Nick just did. Sorry for the listeners that are not watching the YouTube version of this. But that's essentially what it is. I mean, it has a lot of benefits to it. A lot of people obviously in the beginning sounds like you're like you got a dry spell or anything. But no, I mean at the end of the day, it's your decision. So like, I practiced it. The reason why I did was because I got out of a really really bad relationship like years ago, and it really affected me. And one of the things that I wanted to focus on was myself. And the only way to do that is besides of how everyone says like. The best way to get over somebody is under somebody else.
But you said that like a few episodes ago.
I did. Yeah, I mean, I don't practice that anymore. But I was just saying, at the time when I did practice semen retention, really helped me out. Really let me find myself. Really let me try to figure out what the better things were about. Because like someone didn't want me, So it helped me to
self-reflect
and want myself. So instead of me doing it for somebody.
Yeah, because what it is you're saying, like, because once you get out of a breakup, you're trying to go and now find someone else to love you or find someone else to want you.
Or, fill that void.
Instead of actually figuring out what you want for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was lame. Like when people used to tell me that, I was like, But again, there's I think there's two different types of like celibacy, right? Sure. There's like unwillful celibacy, and then there's by choice, right?
So you're practicing by choice.
I'm doing mine by choice. You know, I'm a Sweeterman. You know, I think I can safely say I decided to do this. Versus there are other people that genuinely just can't, which is fine.
And that's the dry spell, and then obviously it's very monetary. It's not it's not always temporary.
Yeah,
it's not always like something that is going to always happen as temporary.
I think I look at like celibacy is like either you choose to go camping, right? Because camping means you're gonna live a lower quality of life. It sucks. No one enjoys it, right? You have to like crap outside. You have to cook your own food. I'm choosing to do that to find myself. Versus some people live in the woods. You know, like Joe Kim No. Like there's certain people that decide to live. There's some people that like just happen to live in the woods, and that's the difference between unwillful celibacy and deciding to be celibate.
And not shit on anybody who does like camping because
you can camp.
And you do that because you can.
Yeah.
Not because you have to.
But I'm a glamper, bro.
I'm a what?
A glamper.
What's a glamper?
You never heard of glamping? Glamping is when you get a cabin or like a nice hotel right by the woods. Like we're gonna talk.
It's like fake version of camping.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
So you're like, I'm doing all the activities outside, but then what time to go home?
I have a bathroom.
I
have a bed.
I have a kitchen sink. I have an oven.
I gotcha.
AC.
Because I choose to go to the woods. I don't live in the woods.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Chosen celibacy. Hashtag. You know what I mean? Hey, but yo, anyways, welcome back, yo. It's episode 56. It's your boy Nick, aka the Anti-Hero. To my right.
It's your boy Will, aka Mr. Potter, aka Curve Gotti. Do not go into my mentions. Do not DM me. I'm sorry, I won't reply.
Unless you have the curve tag.
We'll get into that later.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Terrence, aka Tea Time. Just kidding.
Nope.
Just kidding.
Not cup of tea?
Not cup of tea.
Okay.
I'm replacing Terrence for today. He, I guess, has some type of situation.
He got some business to handle.
Okay, so I'm going to be substituting him. My name is Sal, aka Ghost Fuckboy. Thank you for having me on, everyone.
Yeah, reoccurring guest, as you saw the last episode 55, which you probably saw it aired the other day.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, Sal's always been the guy. I don't know if y'all saw him. He's part of the Banana Boat crew, for people that don't know.
1/4 Banana Boat crew.
Yeah, everybody knows, obviously, you got me, T, Will, Sweeterman Pod, with the Sweeter Boys. But
we have an extension.
But when we add Sal, we become the Banana Boat crew. That's when we run the streets back in the day.
Complete.
Such a great time. Yeah. But anyways, shout out to Jojo, man. She's handling the ones and the twos and the threes. Because Slade's gone.
Slade's not gone.
He's not gone. He's
on another PTO day.
He's out and about. He's handling his business.
He's also handling his business.
But we'll let it be, man, for now.
Facts.
But, man, glad to be back, man. As always, glad to have Sal back here, of course. First thing I want to ask y'all, man. We were talking about this a little bit off air. Actually, it was a discussion with us three that made me bring this up for this topic. Yeah, we were talking about this, on on a Zoom call, on a Zoom meeting, and I wanted to talk about this. So, my question to you guys is: the fastest time that you've encountered a female to then smash. Now, it's not talking on Instagram, meeting and having sex. It's the minute that you initiate contact for the first time to have sex, right? Some people call it the one night stand. Some people call it the hook and book it. I don't know.
Hook and booking.
Right?
Yeah.
So, Sal, you're our guest here. Happy you're back. Please, I would like you to go first and answer this question.
I appreciate it.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So I was at an airport on business, and these are one of the things I wanted to knock off my bucket list is just to meet someone, at an airport or whatever, right?
Interesting so far.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was, I was looking for a phone charger, and I ended up meeting up with some girl who happened to sit right next to a phone like charger because all the other seats were taken, right? And then, I asked her, I was like, hey, does this charger work, whatever? She's like, well, you can give it a try. It didn't end up working. I was like, man. So I ended up taking a seat filled with people, right? Like this gate was filled with people, and my intention was to look for a seat where, like, everything else that was like on my left or on my right was taken, but I'd have that one seat next to me that was like not taken, with the intention that hopefully a female would sit next to me. That's exactly what happened.
It's a good strategy.
Yeah.
It's honestly like with the game of like seduction, it's about positioning, which we'll get into one day in a podcast.
Future podcast.
But yeah, definitely the seating, the sit is very important.
Yeah, you're making chess moves, not chess. You're making chess moves, not chess.
Not checking me. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, man. Anyway, she ends up sitting next to me, right? And we're making small talk. She's not really from the U.S. She's a foreigner. She's from out of country.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man.
It's a different bag,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
So
Sigh.
So we ended up making small talk. She ends up telling me about herself, and everything played in my favor. I ended up waiting at the gate 5-6 hours because our flight ended up getting delayed 2 times, right? And everyone hates it, but for me, it ended up working out. Finally, we get on the plane. 5 minutes later, everyone get back up. Get off the plane. You're not going to fly out until tomorrow morning. And in my head, I was like, oh, man, this really worked out for me,
So there's signs on the walls.
There's a ton of people at the gate, angry, pissed off, people getting off the plane. They want their money back. I'm like, yes, man, this is working out for me. I'm looking for a hotel room to stay because I'm not going to sleep at the airport. Then, I ended up bumping into the girl again. I was like, hey, did you arrange anything? Because, we're not going to be flying out till tomorrow morning, it looks like. She's like, yeah, it looks like I'm just going to be staying at the airport. I was like, oh, man, that really sucks. If you want, I actually just booked a hotel room. If you want to come with, you're more than welcome. I'll be sure to, get a room with 2 separate beds. For sure.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, she thought about it. We talked a little bit more. She ended up wanting to come. Okay. I'd been to the city where we were at once or twice, so I kind of like knew all the good spots or whatever. So I kind of just we went out, checked in our hotel, and then went to a restaurant, whatever. And then on the Uber ride back, that's when I was like, all right, this is the time. I want to make sure that we at least get a little touchy, to at least set some
a tone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
On a friendly tip, okay.
Exactly. We get back to the hotel. There was a ton of foreplay, and then one thing led to the next, and the rest is history, man.
And that's when you closed.
That's when I closed. It was a very long close, but it happened.
Okay. So
the foreplay.
So there's the foreplay. So the minute that you asked her about her outlet, if the outlet is for opening to the point where you actually physically put your outlet in her outlet
with her permission,
with her permission, with consent. So
always.
That time frame now, how if you were to count, how long was that?
I'm not gonna do the math in my head, but let's just say, and this is how it happened. It was probably from around 3 to 4 in the afternoon till about 6:37 in the morning. The next day.
Okay. So like 20 hours.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, 3 p.m.
That's
12. Wait, it's about 16, 17 hours.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes. I had a little delay a little bit.
Are you jet lagged?
16, 17. We'll say about 17 hours, right?
Yeah.
So 17 hours.
Yeah, man.
It's not bad.
Thanks, man.
Mine was a little.
Thanks, man.
Mine was airport related.
Oh, true.
Really?
Mine was airport related.
My high club over here.
Are you guys in the same airport?
We were in the same airport. But no, I just I don't know if this was the fastest, but this was the fastest I can remember.
Yeah.
Right. So deep history, right? But I was gonna catch a flight. My flight was at 6 in the morning. I had a time frame, so it sounds like, you know what? I'm gonna go out to the club. I was with my squad. Go out to the club, and then after the club, just go straight to the airport, because I could just pass out at the airport on my flight.
Of course.
Easy. I was out there. My friend brought some friends, and we all became friends, right?
Biggie, small,
you know what I mean? So met this girl there, maybe within 6 hours, 5 hours. took it to the spot, or she took me to her spot because I wasn't in my city.
The spot is her spot.
Her spot was her spot.
Did you hit her spot?
I did hit her spot. I think.
Nice.
I was pretty lit. But the thing is, I had planned it so right when I was done, I already had my friends have my location, so they were to pick me up and go straight to the airport.
Yeah.
So like I literally like left. I was like, hey, I gotta go.
Yo.
Gone.
Like
Flight.
no. Have a good rest of the year.
Did you ever see her again?
No.
Have you kept contact with her?
No.
Have you? I was like, no.
But I mean, but it was cool. I wasn't like like I don't think she felt the type. I think she knew the type of time she was on. Like,
I mean, obviously she was there to be with you as a consent thing.
Yeah, cause like I mean, to go into it, like my friend was on FaceTime with her at the time.
Wait,
she
what?
saw me. No, they were not during, but like,
fuck?
They were
Okay,
on
fine.
FaceTime when we had just got there,
Okay.
and she saw me in the background. And somewhere in this, she's like, when I saw you, I knew like. So that's what she had. It was solicited on her end. So it's not always the other way around. You know what I mean? So I'll say that mine was like, yeah, maybe 6 hours.
6 hours.
That's a really good time.
It's a really good sign. What is? We got like a
I thought I had a good time.
Hey, it's like you run a 40 like 4 flat.
4 flat.
Hey, I'm good.
Jesus Christ.
What about you, man?
For me,
Yeah.
got to really dig deep down. Okay, so there's a time, Tampa has a thing called Gasparilla. Gasparilla is another. It's pretty much like
Not the Mardi Gras.
Oh,
of
the Mardi
Tampa.
Gras. Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa,
For sure.
if you want to put it like into perspective. And I was out there hanging out with a couple of my friends, obviously, and one thing led to another. Got into a situation with a female. She came on to me. She started pressing me, full court pressed me. I wasn't really interested. I was kind of just vibing everywhere else, and then she came to me. Just took me onto the side, whatever.
She kept doing it too. I was there. I was definitely there.
So she had a friend.
She kept doing when the girls are, hey, let's come over here. I gotta talk to you about something.
Yeah, she kept,
well, you just met him.
She kept wanting to talk to me about something that wasn't related to anything that we need to talk about. So anyway, from there, she's like, yo, exchange information. She's like, yo, come to me tonight. Couldn't, obviously, with boys squad first. And then, I think 2-3 days later, she hit me up. What's good? Let's go. Went to where she was at. Was able to have some good conversation.
Yeah.
Consent.
All right.
Proceeded to go where it was.
So from the time that you met her to the time that you actually
about for 48, 72 hours.
72. Okay, so 2 to 3 days.
2 to
3 days.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad at all.
Trying to save myself, what I mean?
Trying to save yourself.
Try to put myself as an option,
for sure.
You guys.
I mean, we're not trying to flex, right? This is not the purpose of this, right?
I don't think so either.
So the point I brought this up, because I know right now listeners going, wait a second, why are they talking about this? Why are they bringing this up? Well, one, we're always transparent on this podcast. We don't lie, right? Yeah. So we're going to be completely honest. This is, again, years ago when we were younger, when, guys at the time, that's what's on our mind, right?
Younger,
But I bring this up because I also brought up celibacy, right? So I kind of want to take a take of, when women and even men, we practice a gauge form of, we kind of gauge and have our own rules of when do we allow someone to sleep with us, right? And I might have talked about this on a previous podcast before, but every time you sleep with someone, it's said that you give half of your energy away to that person. So if you sleep with one person, then the next day you sleep with someone else, and next you're giving half of a half of a half to the point where you can't identify yourself anymore.
Yeah. Facts.
You
miss so many personalities, you miss so many people,
exactly.
You miss so many backgrounds.
But you're sharing the most intimate moment with yourself. A person.
Yeah.
So when you're going through this and running through all these people, you start to lose yourself. So you have to have some type of rule that you set, right? Because you kind of get lost in the sauce, right? So,
for sure.
Celibacy or a 3-month rule is something that some people practice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know about you fellas, if you guys practice that, because I feel like most times men, our goal is to score, right?
Yeah.
It's about how many dates can I have to deal with until I can proceed to pipe versus a girl's like, how comfortable do I feel until I'm allowing him into that space?
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa, it can happen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
The guy could just be on that tip, and then the girl could be like, "What's good right now?"
Yeah, and it happens. And sometimes it takes a guy like a shook. And that's why I always try to wonder, like, is there a pro, like the pro of celibacy, especially, I'm not saying celibacy is like till marriage or anything. No, I ain't saying that. I'm not saying, the Sweetermen do not promote that at all.
Yo, oh
At
my
all.
God.
But
and it's also, if you believe it, it's cool as well.
it's cool if you do too.
It's cool.
But I'm just saying that if you need some time to gauge someone, to actually get to know you on a personal level, I think it's very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It really
Major
is.
key.
Yeah, so like that's why like sometimes like girls, like I think it's important to kind of hold out to actually see if the guy's genuine. Because I'm not gonna lie, there's been times in my toxic days that I would kind of gauge. All right, this girl, she'll give it up in about 3-4 days. Dates. So how many? I could fight through and muscle through 4 dates and act humble until she gives it up, and that's a real.
It's a sad
reality. You know what I mean? So
Not
so
the,
like
you're not the only person who thought
yeah,
that.
and then what happens, you know, to a lot of girls is you go on a date with this guy for a couple months and he's amazing, he's great, and then finally you give it up,
Yeah.
and he just
It
disappears.
Just leaves, doesn't talk, doesn't say a word, just
So,
left
I
for dead.
I never really experienced any of that, but
You never really got left for dead? Like, no girl, like,
never left for dead, or have I left for dead? Yes.
seriously.
Yeah. But, I mean, it could work out either way, right? So, I may or may have not been in a relationship that actually turned out from something like that, right? So, like,
Yeah.
maybe first or second date, we smashed, and ended up being something that, you know,
and that's what I was
prolonged,
gonna
right?
ask. Do you guys think like having to wait to have sex with someone is important? I mean, like what Sal said is he dated someone where they had sex soon, which I've actually had that too. Where
Same.
I've slept
Me
with a
too.
girl after maybe the third date, second date, and we were dated for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like
Same with me. Well, not years, but.
yeah.
The long term.
A long
Over
term.
6 months, under a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just on my predicaments.
Yeah.
But it's like, so then what's the difference? Because sometimes you hold out, like sometimes girls will hold out to show that they're a good girl,
Facts.
but then you have times where they, you know,
They
kinda-
want to like see what's good.
they want to see what's good a little bit.
I think
you know?
what really it comes down to is if you catch the vibe, right? Like
Yeah.
if maybe the person that I was with at the time or am with at the time, let you guys figure that out. Maybe they felt that I was just like a genuinely nice person,
Yeah.
right? That's probably why, you know, they ended up being okay with me being with them intimately.
I see.
So I think it really just all depends.
So they gauged you in a way that they were like, you know what?
I think this guy's a nice guy, you know, like we'll see what happens, and took the risk, and we ended up dating for a long time.
See, nice guys don't finish last.
Sometimes they do.
But you know, I wanted to kind of talk to y'all. Like, I know we've always talked about other people dirty macking us in terms of like, and if people don't know the term dirty mac, it's when like a guy or even girls can dirty mac too. But
Oh, for sure.
it's usually, but in this scenario, a dirty mac is when a guy will downplay another guy to get more of an advance on a female.
Example would be kind of like when a woman is scorned from their ex or something, and they're still like feeling some way about it. The guy be like, well, I would never do that to
Yeah,
you.
I would never do that, or you're he's
Or
a
like, wow,
piece of
what a piece of shit. Why would
Yeah.
you ever talk to you like that? I would never talk to you like that.
Yeah, and we kind of get into that of like the dirty mac. So then I wanted to pose a question to you guys, but I guess I'll answer it first.
Yeah.
Is I wanted to ask, have you ever participated in dirty mac? Not receiving the dirty mac,
Have I ever dirty?
but have I ever dirty macked on a conscious level, right? I'm sure I have. I definitely have.
I'm sure I have.
I mean, I could do it in pretty much the two examples that Will brought up. I've definitely dirty macked off the relationship
Off the
breakup,
relationship breakup.
you know, off the, you know, oh man, he never listened to me, or oh man, he just didn't give me what I wanted, and I would just feed off that and tell you exactly what you wanted to hear. And that was a form of dirty mac. But for me, that's not that serious.
Because you didn't
because
care.
I didn't care,
You didn't care enough.
nor did I not know him. But have I ever dirty macked off a friend?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever have intent, like with intent.
Yeah.
Like if it was obviously a girl that my friend was interested in, I would never press. I'd always kept that respectful boundary.
Yeah.
Until there was no progression in it, and then maybe 2 or 3 months have passed, and there was nothing there.
Nothing.
Then,
Nothing there.
then I think you're allowed to then take it and proceed on.
So can we say, is that your level? Like, is that like your comfort level of you doing that?
Yeah. So like,
Or would you put what you said universally? Like if someone did that to you, if you weren't progressing with somebody,
Agreed.
would you feel any type of way about if a guy did that to you?
No.
You would not. Okay.
No, I mean, there's been a scenario where I was interested in a female. You know, I was really interested in her. I thought the vibes were right. I met her first.
Okay.
I thought me and her were going to hit it off. She met one of my friends, immediately dubbed me, I like your friend. I've never really felt that before. I never had that experience before. And it shattered me in my ego. But I respect the game. You never respect the player. And he was my friend. So in turn, I said, you know what? Friend, you get your shot. She obviously likes you. No, but she obviously likes you. I respect the game. Go get her. Now, he didn't go get her. He didn't close. Now, technically, if I wanted to, I can go back and shoot my shot. You can go shoot your shot. You can go shoot your shot because some time progressed, and he didn't do anything, even though he had the layup.
Do you know if he abides by those terms? Do you think he's okay with you saying that?
He might not be, but it's the rules of the game.
Yeah, it's in the code, bro. Like
It's in the code.
Yeah.
So is he in the bro code? Are you taking the bro code away because you're okay? You're satisfied with the feeling of like if it happened to you, you're okay. But did you tell him if it happened to him, would it be okay?
I would have definitely addressed it for sure. It's not something where I would go, hey, I'm just gonna go do it. But if it's been, let's just say, 3 months, and then the ladies too, right? Say if you've been talking to a guy for 3 months and he's giving you nothing, your friend technically can kind of jump in.
Technically, but girls don't do that.
Yeah.
But girls, you'll be surprised. Girls will do it when you're in a relationship with them, right?
Well, the thing about it is like, but you know how sometimes like when people get like very like territorial, like I liked him first. That was mine first.
No, and that's a thing. But like with guys, like you should.
I mean,
not.
guys is more on a sexual tip. It's not on like a.
No, but there are scenarios where a guy will really like a girl, and it can be years. And no matter what, he will not let his friends touch her. Even though in these years she will go in multiple relationships and be with many guys, but he will not let his friends touch her, even though he's done nothing with her, and that's so unfair.
Is it unfair?
It's extremely unfair.
We need some comments right now. Right now, if you heard to this point, flood the comments. Tell us what you think about what we're talking about right now.
If I was on that end and I was putting comments, I'd be like, how come we can't just all love each other? How come we can't just I take this girl takes this guy,
but it's
and
what
just
she
change.
wants.
It's what she
It
wants.
doesn't matter.
But think about, all right, Sal, but look.
Sal, we can't say that out loud.
Sal, but think about it. If you were talking to a girl and you wanted to like get at her, but she gave you no interest.
Right.
Does that allow me
Right.
not to now I can never shoot my shots? What if me and her actually hit it off?
Right. Like if a girl says, "Oh my god, I actually like your friend," I'll be like, "Okay, just give me a second. I'll go back to my friend." But like, she doesn't like any of us, and
You
then
have to honor the code.
Is that like a kind of dirty Mac?
That's
there?
no, that's
see,
dirty.
I am the dirty
That's
macker,
dirty
but I would never do that. Like, girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
But you would respect that if it's like, all right, Sal, you tried for 3 months. 3 months is a good time. 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months is a good
So
enough
now
time.
you just lowered it.
It doesn't matter. Like,
It doesn't matter.
yeah, like the time period.
Fine,
if the
fine.
time lapses,
Let's say time lapse is not a big factor. Let's say
if
that's
the time lapses,
So let's say off of this straight, like if they couldn't close or the girl's not interested in him, that gives you the full range. To
Yeah.
do whatever
it gives
you want.
not just my friend, but any guy.
Any guy's already on the range anyways because you're not even in her top 5.
Right.
Because it's like this. It's like, all right, if you meet a chick, ideally, and this is where it kind of ties in with like how fast you let somebody in and so
Right,
all that.
for sure.
Because the girl, if she's interested, she'll go on a date with you.
Right.
So then that buys you, let's just say 2 weeks, right? That's like the dating pyramid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
2 weeks, you guys are interested, but maybe, all right, a month goes by. If you get a kiss, you're in the game still.
Yeah.
But if you get no meetup, no kiss, nothing for 2 months.
No reply.
2 months, she barely
none of
talks to you. She's in and out all the time in your conversation.
Right.
Bro, I'm allowed to go in there because you know what? She might actually be interested in me. You can't deter that from me.
that. Right.
So it's not a form of dirty Mac. The dirty Mac then is if now you, that's salty, comes at me and goes, yo, Nick's not a good guy.
I mean, it doesn't have to be just you. It could be
Not me. I'm just giving an
you
example.
give an example.
I'm just
Okay.
saying in this context. Yeah. So for me, I don't think I've ever dirty macked a true friend. Have I dirty macked strangers? For sure. Have I met guys that were really cool, but I chose not to be close to them because I was gonna dirty mack them later? 1,000%. 1,000%.
I think guys could testify for that they do that. They do that as well.
Agreed.
I mean, for me, it's kind of taking off you. For myself, I personally, I only found a time that I dirty maxed from somebody that we had like a history with, and like I'm gonna probably expose myself a lot, but like there was a moment in my life where I was with somebody, and this other girl was with somebody, and we kind of like had an entanglement, and then we just dirty maxed each other's like people that we were with at the time.
Yep.
So, other than that, I mean, can I say a dirty mac for a purpose or reason?
But I'm saying, have you ever
Yes.
dirty macked to a friend where a friend was maybe interested in a girl, maybe a girl was interested in your friend?
No.
And you said you never dirty macked. You never said he's not nice. Nothing.
No.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. No, I mean, have I ever been dirty macked? I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe. Have I ever done the dirty macking? I mean, yes and no. Like.
Well, okay, with you it's a little different. 'Cause
Right.
You are Ghost Fuckboy, so like.
So okay, like.
Are you doing it as a joking, like trolling?
No,
way,
it's
or?
a lesson learned for me, right? Like
Okay,
if the
okay.
girl is like, oh my god, my ex-boyfriend never brought me chocolates when I was on my period, I'd be like, oh man, it's so sad to hear. Maybe I'll do that the next time. In my head, I'm not telling her that. I'm not saying, yo, your boyfriend is horrible for doing that.
Ah, I see. So
I'm dirty macking
you're
by
internally dirty macking.
I'm dirty macking by action.
Okay. No, which is
Oh,
right.
by
Which,
action.
which
Okay.
I agree. I think it's fair.
Well,
like-
actually, that's fair game then, because you're not saying it, you're doing it. It's
Now,
two different things.
in regards of dirty macking a friend, no man, that's messed up. Like I would never like if there was a chick that I liked at a bar, I tried talking to her and she looked right past me and like my friends who were taller, I'm gonna be like, all right, well I obviously have no chance here, so I'm gonna go back to my friend and be like, hey man, she likes you. I wouldn't. That's messed
You
up.
respect the game. You respect the code.
Yeah, exactly. And then when she's done with him or when he's done with her, maybe I'll go back for a second shot. You never know what happens.
Yeah. I mean, and this is off topic, but like our group, like if we go out as single men,
Yeah.
we play off the term called the vibes. So like, there's no such thing as calling claims. Like I feel like when you're younger, you go, I want her.
Yeah.
But versus now, like you go out as a group and it's all right. Who's feeling who's looking at who, and you got to take that for what it is.
Yeah, because who knows, you might wife her.
Yeah, you might wife her, so you don't know.
Yeah.
Right? You find love in the club, right? So.
This is off that.
There is.
So I know we kind of touched this topic a little bit the other day. Not on our podcast, but on Graham's podcast.
Sure, check it out.
And I kind of wanted to talk about this on ours. We kind of dived in it, but I want to really dive. It's about, a lot of people complain about romance nowadays, right? Like it's kind of dead. Romance now, it's boring. Like guys don't really even take girls out anymore, or vice versa. Like we just go, hey, you just want to come over and watch some TV, and we just kind of call that as like
Call
that's
it
it.
the first date.
Yeah, that's called the first date. No, but you'd be surprised how many first hangouts is just a Netflix and chill, right? But I think like romance is kind of dying, but it's not always just guys. So I wanted to ask y'all, I wanted to pose a question to y'all.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you're romantic, let's say you guys are romantic type. I think Will's kind of a romantic type, right? I think Sal's pretty romantic from I know the gestures you've made, not to me, but to others. I've been in your guys' dating career your whole lives since y'all started,
Dating careers.
So I've seen but I've seen every partner y'all been with and your gestures and like how romantic you guys can be. I'll shout out to you guys.
Sure.
Now, I want to pose the question of what if you are the romantic one as a man and you're dating a girl that is not romantic, but she expects you to be romantic.
I have a hard time, man. I mean, I'm gonna speak for myself. Yo, I'm a man of integrity. I love to court. I love to try to go outside the box and try to figure out things that you want to do, figure out places that you want to see, figure out things that you want to be around. But if I don't get it back, I mean, I'm not like, you know, I'm not like a dick. I won't do it again. But it's kind of like
At some time, there's less incentive.
it's kind of like yeah. It's like dang. Like I mean, like I'm not like a you know. I don't want to get courted and shit. But I do want to have like a same energy because I'm pretty big on like an eye for an eye, like love you know energy to energy swap. Like if I'm on a high energy tip and you're over here like more receiving than giving, then I'm gonna kind of like match your energy and kind of just give you the same energy you're giving. And then I used to do that and it got me in a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, like you don't do these. Like who you with? Who you fucking? You know, who's sucking your dick or whatever. But it was never like that. It's like I'm just matching the energy that you're giving me. Yeah. So I'm huge on that. I mean, call it petty, call it what you want. But like I'm a man of integrity and I like to give energy and also receive the same energy I give back. Because it shows that I'm showing you a good time, showing me a good time. Don't think that your pussy is key. Because you know, pussy's pussy. I get it when I need it. So like, just like match my energy. That's all I need. That's all I need to say on that. You know, fuck it.
Well, in my past relationships, current relationship, I really haven't like experienced that kind of like energy, right? Where like, oh, if I am super romantic, I expect you to be super romantic. I don't think it'll ever be like that for me, at least. You kind of have to live with it. Some people are just not going to match your level, and you just have to accept it. I know why I like to be super romantic. It's kind of a, well, I'm going to be super romantic with you, and if you and I don't ever work out, good luck with your next boyfriend, because let's see if he's going to be as romantic as me.
Okay.
But I won't, like, leave the girl that I'm with if she doesn't match my romance level. Okay. You never know. Later on down the road, she might do something super sweet for you. Okay. And then you just appreciate it.
So can I ask you this? Do you? Because you just heard what I just said. Like I kind of match the same energy stuff. Yeah. You don't care if she is not giving you the romantic level. You just like to give the romantic level whether you're receiving.
Yeah, I love giving it because like the reaction is just so priceless. Like that awe or wow, that's really sweet of you.
That's what you're saying and what Will's saying is true. Yeah. But Will's saying that if he makes a grand gesture, or it doesn't even have to be a grand gesture, but a very thoughtful one. Yeah. And you do it day in, day out, week by week, month by month, anniversary, whatever. But in return, every time she just never does a thing.
Like is it because like it's almost like the courting is almost expected. Okay? Yeah. So like it's like. You should be doing this. You are the male and you are the man.
Will has set the tempo as the planner, the one that comes up with the different places to eat.
Yeah.
Different places to do or go or see or...
I get it. No, I get what you guys are saying, but it's just like I've been on that end where like, let's just say someone did something amazing for me for like Valentine's or birthday or for Christmas, and I did something for them, but it wasn't what they expected. I mean, it felt like shit. So, like, why am I going to keep that same energy?
No, and I understand.
You know? And that's you guys not appreciated.
Right.
Okay. Does that energy change when you're not appreciated? If you do a gesture and she's like...
Because, like, I mean, why are you with the girls still? There's something else that's keeping you. It's not just the romantic.
Well, right. Yeah. So, like, you guys are kind of on the more romantic tip. I've always been told, and, like, 2 of my relationships, that I was not romantic. Yeah. Which I always thought I was, but I guess I never was. But my romantic was different. Different, but maybe not to like the trying things different and that, and maybe T can attest to me in that as well. But you know, it does hurt when you like make an attempt and you think this is your level of romance, and you go, hey, you know what? I think this is romantic, and you do, and they shoot it down, right? So I know we've talked about the love language on here, and like how like. Based on your love language is different. I think romance has its own love language. Like I think, like what I do that I think's romantic, might not work on a girl. Like I might do like a home cooked meal and have the house like ready to go, so you don't have to worry about a thing. And one girl will go, "That's expected." Yeah. But another girl actually might be like, "Yo, that's genuinely romantic. A man that will cook for me and have everything ready by the time I get here is like kind of dope."
Right.
So it's like you have like. It's perspective, and I've looked at it in that angle, and that's why I kind of want to pose the question of, is it, if you guys are on the same romantic level, is it something to consider maybe looking for a partner that is on that same length? Like, you might have a partner where you and them just, all y'all like to do is just stay in, don't go anywhere, watch Netflix, and just don't go anywhere, ever. You see what I'm saying?
It's just trash.
Which is trash, but you know what? But there's some
people
couples
who like that shit.
that genuinely just want to be like bums at home all the time,
And that's no slight to anybody who likes that.
Yeah, and that's totally fine too, I think.
Yeah,
but
sure.
But then if maybe you have a partner that wants to go out all the time, but that's not your like romance level, then maybe that's like a love language too, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you got to find somebody else, or you got to learn to like compromise.
So you either find somebody else and just say fuck whoever I built on, and then.
Or be miserable.
Or be miserable with them, because like then you're gonna think, all right, like I'm gonna keep doing these gestures to this one girl that's gonna always go, all right.
You could have done this.
But imagine that you're doing the same effort to somebody else, and they're just balls to the wall, just so happy, oh my. And then so you know what they do in return? They do something nice for you back, and then you do something nice for them. And now it's not about what are you doing for me? It's what can I do for them? And then you kind of get into this rhythm of, let me just do something for them because I want to do something for them.
Yeah. Right.
And then in return, they're going to feel that same way, and now you're just building off each other.
Cycle of life.
Only on the Sweeterman podcast.
Oh, no.
On the Sweeterman podcast, we get to that level.
Dang.
But no, but then there are times where like maybe you guys are hitting at the same level, right? You're hitting that same frequency. Yeah. But like maybe the romance changes a little bit, right? Maybe one doesn't try as much, or
one gets more comfortable than the other.
Yeah.
And it goes both ways. I mean, at the end of the day, like when it comes to like the whole entire thing is like, if you're, like I said, for me, I'm going to say for myself, like I said before, I just do what things are being done for me, or vice versa. Or if I set a tempo, it should be someone back, and it should be genuine. Like I'm big on I'm being genuine. I'm big on organic shit. Like just making it whole organically. Sometimes like, when is like enough though? Like as far as like you mentioned something like, you know, find somebody else. When do you think that time is to find somebody else?
I think it has to do with self-reflection, man. It has to do with like identifying your self-worth and going, all right, well, I know what I deserve. Oh, I know how and I always look at it like this, and people think I'm crazy for it sometimes, but it could be something so small, like, you know, maybe they have an attitude problem.
Yeah.
But or you know, when you go to a restaurant, you have like the person that they'll make a complaint to the waiter, but in a way that's it's embarrassing.
There's only 5 pieces of lettuce on my shit.
Yeah, but like, you know, like something that small, I'll take that and go, can I deal with that behavior for the next rest of my life? And if your answer is nah, like you have to look at the grand scheme of things. You might tolerate it then because like it's
just new and
it's new. They put it down. Like it only happens once in a while when we go out, but like forever with your kids there, when you're a grandpa, like all of that. Can you deal with it? So then enough is enough. So you have to kind of look ahead because now you're saving yourself time.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? So enough is, dang, I'm romantic this time, that time, all the time, and they just never really not appreciate it, but reciprocate it in a way that makes me want to continue doing it. Yeah. But then you've done it so long that when you stop, instead of being cool about it because they've never done anything, they start accusing you of cheating or something's off, and now you have to maintain this tempo for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like there's people like, you know, who just get so comfortable and so like, you know, I mean it goes for both ways, guys and women, like, you know, but like it's crazy how like people like see it as like a negative thing instead of like self-reflect, like you said, looking back at like, damn, why did he really stop? When can I really pinpoint when he stopped doing what he used to do? They can't, because at that point they go be like, no, he had to do some. He was on some other shit when he was doing this. He was trying to be too nice to me. He was trying to like make me feel some away so he could get away from his shit. Now he doesn't want to do that. Now he's probably like, you know, now I'm catching him.
So like, I'll give an example. Like, you know, I was dating somebody and I would take them to restaurants, and I've never cared. Like, I know we talked about like the check dance, splitting the bill, but I've never cared. Right. I was down to pay. Yeah. I paid every single time, you know. But it got to a point where after every single time, sometimes she just wouldn't say thank you. It's something just little like that. It wasn't even after the meal. We would just get in the car and just drive, and it was like nothing happened. But it was just like the quick, hey, yo, thanks for the meal, babe. Nothing. And started to stop to the point where it's like, all right, like it might be nothing to you, but I still spent, you know, $120, $60, even $30.
Whatever it may be.
Whatever the case is, I still spent that money on you and your time. Like, you can at least just hit me with a thank you. It's just common courtesy. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then you start to look at that and go, yo, for the rest of my life, can I deal with that? Yeah. And I told myself, no.
Yeah, no.
And then, so what do? Well, I don't want to keep feeling this shitty feeling of not hearing a thank you. I'm just not going to take her out no more. Or if we do, can we just get it to go? Because, like, I'm not going to sit in a whole restaurant, wine and dine you to not even get an appreciation for it. Like.
Bro, yeah, it's fair to say.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because at the end, it's not a money issue. It's more of like the common courtesy issue.
Yeah.
Because like I do it like me, because like I'm a man who I always like been there, done that, paid like always in full and shit like that. Never even like cared. But like when it's like somebody that you're constantly doing that for, constantly being around and constantly sharing that energy with, like it's kind of nice that you at least I could just see you saying that. You know what I mean? Like just it could be anything. Like, yo, appreciate it.
Yeah,
that'd be a thing. You'd be like, yo, appreciate it. Or
but they don't understand that goes a long mile.
It does go a long way. It does.
Like you could do all these things, and one day, just like honestly, ladies, like if you want your man not to cheat and stuff, and I'm not even saying this to troll, like if you like one of the leading factors isn't just because like they're seeing some girl because she got a fat ass or whatever. They're actually doing it because you didn't take that time at the end of the night to just turn over to be like, hey, yo, I really appreciate the things you do. Yeah. And then it's that emotional disconnect that they don't have that some other girl will look at and be like, wow.
And they harp on it.
Wow, this guy does all this stuff for her. She don't appreciate, because these girls will recognize that because you overlook it because you see it every day. Yeah. These girls will just want a taste of it. So then they get a taste of it. You see what I'm saying?
And it's also vice versa, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It also
same
does,
thing.
It goes the same way, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like, because when people say, like, guys usually cheat physically and then women cheat emotionally. And it can also be the same way, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, and a lot of our listeners know, like, when we're saying this, like, we're obviously talking from a men's perspective.
Absolutely.
But you can always flip it and relate it to females, too.
And vice versa.
Yeah, for sure, So, like, even ladies, like, the guy doesn't say thank you anymore or, like, appreciate, like,
doesn't rub your back.
Because, majority, for real, the majority of the time, girls, mainly are the ones cooking at home or whatever. Not anymore lately, but, like, they are the ones, like, for generalizing.
Lately. Yeah.
Like, guys kind of assume that. Yeah. So it's like, yo, man, I cook all these meals. I switch it up. I cook the meals you like when you have a rough day. And you don't say shit because it becomes assumed.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Like the thank you or like it's a small little. I just don't think. Wow.
Yeah, it's it's a love language.
It goes a long way.
No,
bro.
yeah, it does. No, I never thought of it, but now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, they could say thank you. No, but they can say thank you, and you can immediately be like, yo, don't even worry about it. Because you're not, it's not that you want to thank you, but it's still nice to hear, You still appreciate it, but it's
I think, like, everyone has, like, their own, like, little thing, right? For Nick, it might be the thank you at the end of the night. For me, it may be, like, I don't know, cooking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or getting me a bottle of water.
Okay.
After a long,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. I mean, it could be a little thing,
Yeah.
Huh. Look at him reminiscing right now.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. But yeah, so, like, that's just some things, like, like, when I look at, like, romance or not being romantic, like, look, really dig deep in your partner. And, like, honestly, some things say, like, have a conversation with them. Because, it might not be the romance, they're not romantic with you anymore, but maybe they compensated it into other things, right? Maybe it goes, all right, like, when we started dating, we went out all the time, and I was touching you all the time. But now, like, I'm more focused on our commitment to each other in terms of, like, building a stable home. Facts. Or, like, I'm focused on my career, Facts. Not because of my career, but just so then we can have a better future together.
Yeah, like a better outcome.
Yeah, so it's like I'm compensating, those fun times that we could be having for, like, a more prosperous future, But that thing, sometimes it's that communication that you have to have.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, open communication for having those situations change, because you do it, because like you're changing. Don't think that your partner doesn't see you not change. Change. Like I see it very easily. Partners see it very easily. They told me how I change and stuff like that. But obviously, it's it comes a long way to like talk about it. You have to have a honest and open dialogue with it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, I think how we approach things a lot, like, and I know it's like so side topic, but we approach things like about what's going wrong in the relationship when we're fighting, right? Yeah. When we're fighting, then that's when we go, but you know what? Another thing I gotta say,
another thing, what you did 20 years ago.
Exactly, but that ain't the scene. It's like I feel like when you have when everything's good, we kind of go, well, I ain't gonna talk about that. We kind of push it to the back burner. But I think sometimes you'll go to a nice restaurant together, and actually then sit down and actually have real talk on some stuff. Go, hey, you know what? Like, I'm happy and everything. I just want to kind of hit you with some things that I'm not trying to start problems.
But-
Maybe this is a time that we can kind of be open about it, talk about it. We're having a good vibe. Let's just address these things real quick, like a minor checkup, clean it up, and then we just keep it pushing so we don't have a spill. I care about you enough to have this conversation so later we don't crash. Sal got me in some deep stuff right now, huh? Hey, no, it's fine.
Pause. But shit, man. But I think that's all we gotta address, man.
I think that's it,
I think
yeah.
that's all we had left on the table.
For sure. Any
That's
final
good.
notes in terms of
Nah,
anything we talked about?
nah, man, you just got me thinking now. Like, you're about to start an argument.
Oh, I mean,
The toxicity is back, boy.
Oh, God,
I'm
no.
just joking. I'm just
I mean,
joking.
but I mean, I hope I learned a lot of things.
Yeah,
from you
absolutely.
Too, and like talk about this stuff. And
Yeah.
there's things that I could take home, after this and stuff, and I could apply it. It's
Yeah.
cool.
1000%. That's what it's all about, man. And I hope y'all do too. Listeners. Final notes, of course. Definitely appreciate the support we get. At the Sweeterman Podcast. You can find us on Instagram if you're listening on Google Podcasts, Spotify. Definitely check us out on YouTube as well. YouTube, vice versa. You know where to find us. On that note, we're good. One final thing I did want to say is, as you guys know, and if you don't know, I'm a very, very big DMX fan. I'm a diehard. He's like my favorite artist of all time. He's literally changed my life. He's fighting for his life right now in the hospital. He's a dog. He's gonna get through it. He's tough. He's he's my everything, man.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I think when this happened and the news came out, I actually was with Will when the news broke. I was devastated, man. I was pretty hurt.
Yeah.
But it also made me kind of have a reminder of, we have a lot of, fallen artists like Nipsey Hussle, you have King Von,
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD, Pop Smoke. Like, there's a lot of artists that when they pass, like, I notice, like, there's an elevation in their music, but I think there's, like, while artists are alive, like DMX, like, I cherish him so much. So to, like, revisit his old discography, his old B-side tracks, just everything, and, like, really celebrating him while he's alive and while he's on this earth, and people don't understand the impact he's had to hip-hop. Like, I just wanted to take a moment to, like, really appreciate you, DMX. Yo, shout out Darkman X. You really, like, impacted my life in many ways.
Yeah, man. Same, man. Same with me. I mean, grew up listening to him in New York and coming from the same hometown in Yonkers, New York, as he was born and raised from too. Really, very impactful. Had songs that obviously I love and stuff, but you got into the B-sides and stuff like that, which, yeah, man, he's like literally an entity of his own. You can't really categorize him as like, he's the next DMX, because DMX is his own person.
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I'm not as big of a DMX fan, but I did listen to him growing up. I remember one thing that I used to do when I was younger. You know how they have the Rough Riders logo?
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I would always try to, like, replicate that logo, and it was the hardest thing for me.
It's the regular R.
I was just like, I was into cars and, like, motorcycles, and I still am.
Yeah.
So I think that's why. But yeah, man, hopefully he feels better. Whenever this podcast drops, hopefully more positive news.
Oh, for sure,
Absolutely.
definitely. I have no doubt in my mind. It was honestly a blessing to see him in concert.
Facts, man. So I got this right here, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. I got the merch from DMX. Like, and it's a blessing because he came out in the '80s. So
Yeah.
for us to like actually get to see him, and this, honestly, this might have been one of his final tours.
Maybe.
So for us, like, it's just a blessing to actually experience that, see literally a living legend, and
sure.
celebrating his music now. And I think we should practice that with everything. It's not just music, but if it's your friends, like everybody, like don't just cherish those times that y'all had. Focus on like, all those moments count now.
Yeah.
And I think we forget about it anytime anyone nears death. Then we kind of remember for a second. But we always should be consistently hitting up your friends, checking in on people, people you care about, or like just appreciating people while they're here versus later.
Yeah, man. Because at the end of the day, when that time comes and you regret it, man, you gonna have to hold that for the rest of your life.
Facts. But yeah, on that note,
On
we don't want to keep it negative or anything, but bless ups to Darkman X, man. I love you to death.
Yeah.
On that note, see you guys next week.
X will give it to you.